JP. Two sides of the same coin. We've seen them interact before, but never like this. Something big is coming to Dokkan Battle. Presented by 59 Gaming. The International Tournament of Power. Team Global versus Team JP. 8 Dokkan YouTubers. 16 matches. 1 winner.
Marsningen here, captain of Team Global. We got the homie Goresh, we got Tiger, and we got Gale, and of course myself. And we are raring and ready to go.
Talon here, captain of the JP team, and definitely feeling good about our team right now. We've got the awesome Whale Nolar, we got Jinro, and we got Sunblade, and we are looking forward to taking the win for the JP side.
Both teams are ready. But are you? See all the action unfold. Right here at 59 Gaming.
I think Globals won't really put up much of a challenge. I mean, we're just gonna leave them in the dust, kind of like their release schedule. It's just, it's all over the place.
Bring home that victory for Team Global, Team Globest. You guys know, Global is gonna represent.
The International Tournament of Power. Coming soon.
Oh, are we good? Are we live?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so the International Tournament of Power is going to be happening very, very soon. So everybody stay tuned, all right? Attention, 59 gamers. We are back with another installment of your favorite Dokkan Battle podcast called the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, Toon Rami, and joining me this week are some of Earth's mightiest Dokkanners, starting with the international family guy himself, Talon.
What's going on, everyone? Ohayou gozaimasu.
I was about to spoil that. I was going to say Mass Ningen. Let's not do that. Part-time stand user and full-time Super Battle Road King, the Mass Ningen.
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
I'm still a little rattled that nobody invited me to the Tournament of Power, so I kind of hate you guys. The homie who needs no introduction, Goresh.
Yeah, we didn't invite you because we didn't know how that would work.
Stellt euch dem schnellsten und mächtigen Speedrunner Sunblade.
Good morning. Well done. Well done, Toon.
Yeah, thank you. The most silent Mario Kart player I've ever met in my life, Kensei.
Yo, what's good, guys?
Honestly, you could have just said nothing. That would have been perfect.
I know, right?
Make sure you guys are locked into all of our social media platforms across the board and stay connected with the 59G network. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, join us on Discord, Facebook, everything. All the links will be available everywhere. So make sure you guys are fully connected. Without further ado, let's jump into episode 7 called A Bug's Life. Let's just begin talking about why we called this episode A Bug's Life. So Dokkan recently had an update of sorts, and it's resulted in some of the fun. Personally, I've found this to be some of the most entertaining moments ever in Dokkan's lifespan. There's just bug after bug after bug. There's glitches in the Pilos Trove. There's lagging. There's categories not being seen. I don't even know where to begin. Guys, what was your takeaway when you saw all of this madness unfold And also, were you guys lucky, like Goresh and myself, in snagging some of those rank up packs before that all went away? Let's just throw this out there. Anyone can take this. Just go.
I did not thought about that because literally right after I did my summons, I went on and Garage told me that the rank up packages were able to purchase. So I was like, what? So it was like what, like an hour? Like it's been an hour already. So I didn't get a purchase that. So that's unfortunate for me. So yeah, it was literally just bug city. It was just a lot of things. It was super slow, laggy, all that kind of stuff. So I have like a lot of things to say about it.
Well, the question that I have is, since they did that, how long was that maintenance they did? Like 7 hours or something?
It was like, I think it was originally 6 hours, and then they delayed it once by an hour, and then another hour and a half. So I think it was like
Okay,
almost
so like
9
8.5
hours.
hours or something.
Yeah.
So after that maintenance, have you guys still been experiencing slowness?
Yes.
Not for me, though.
Okay.
I haven't as much, but
Yeah.
It's not debilitating, but I have noticed it, and it's.
well,
I mean,
one thing I noticed is
how
I
does-
posted a video of it. The when it first went live, I had the glitch that I saw a couple of people comment about, where I couldn't easy A the AGL cooler because it would make the game crash. But then after the maintenance, so last night, I went to record the showcase for him, like post Easy A, and I literally got into the event, brought up his details, and it still said he was level 120, but his super attack was 15 out of 10. And so like I just couldn't use him at all. This is it, the video on screen. So he tried to awaken him, and the thing is, it was showing that I'd already used the first 3 medals as well, because it was saying that the next step would cost 5 medals, but the first step puts them up to level 125, but it was saying that he was at max level 120. So that was an interesting one. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't know about the rank packs before the Pilaf Trove got taken down. So unfortunately, I didn't get to take advantage of that, because I definitely would have.
So Goresh and I were actually recording our collab at the time, and so as we were setting up for that, Goresh tells me, dude, check Pilas Trove. All the rank packs are open. So he bought out the shop, and then I was trying to follow suit. I had already just bought the stone sale, so I was a little nervous about buying everything, but I got a good chunk of them. And then afterwards, I wanted to go back in to buy some of the tickets, the premium tickets for the banners, and I wasn't able to. So then I was trying to make a free-to-play special pose team showcase, and then I couldn't even do that because I tried to select special pose. Not a single unit showed up on screen. So then I literally had to go to the Dokkan Wiki to find out which units are in special pose. And then I looked at their unit. It's not even in the description of the unit.
Yeah, because I saw your post showing the empty thing. Because I think I saw someone else post about it. I think the actual Gotenks themselves was the only unit that was showing in the category. But obviously, you'd have to have him for.
Okay, yeah, because like LR, Goten, and Trunks are in special pose, but they didn't show up.
Yeah, and it was literally the new Gotenks was like the only
That's
unit
funny.
that was showing as being in the category. So if you didn't have him, then you had no units of that category at all.
So there were just a plethora of issues, and apparently Talon. I was speaking to Talon about this. The account link mission that popped up for everybody, giving you free 20 stones. That's not necessarily a glitch. That's something a little different. Could you clarify on that one?
So I don't know if Global said this in their news, which it wouldn't have been in the main news. It was in like the side extra news part. But on JP at least, it was actually quote unquote reset. So if you again had your account connected via Google or anything like that, then you got the 20 free stones. So that's not a glitch, unless Global had not posted that in the side news or the extra news portion of their news part of the game. That is not a glitch. So as long as you have it connected, you get an extra 20 free stones, even if you've done it before. So
yeah, I didn't see it in the in-game news anywhere, but I remember. I remember people from
that's
JP.
how it was on JP. So again, but regardless, I mean, hey, 20 free stones, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of JP, Sunblade, you guys obviously had to deal with this first. So you guys were the guinea pigs in a sense, as far as dealing with all of the fallout from the update. I don't know if you have been following up or checking on the global scene, but has there been any glaring difference between the JP side and the global side in terms of how this whole update rolled out and the fallout that came after that?
So I personally think that we didn't get hit that hard, but the game still crashes for me like 3 to 4 times every day. Of course, we don't have the Pillar Strove, and I didn't have the problems like Ningen, where I couldn't awake any units. But yeah, as I said, the app still crashes when I return to the game. When I get into Discord, and then return to the game instantly crashes. It loads like hell. So JP isn't good right now, but yeah, global is worse.
Do you guys think that 5 Dragonstones for the emergency maintenance and then 1 Dragonstone, I think they gave extra for some other reason, total 6. Do you think that's enough of a compensation for something like this? To the level that these guys messed up, there's a sense of imbalance now in terms of the Dokkan players on global, because some of them were lucky enough to come across the Pilaf Strove and buy them, whereas others, most of the other players, were not able to. Do you feel like that imbalance warrants a simple 6 stone compensation, or should there be more to this?
I think if you look at the past issues that this game has had, and you look at the compensation that Global has gotten in the past for these similar issues that we've had, people expecting like 50 stones are just like way out of line, because it's never something that they would even consider for a Global.
Yeah.
I even said on a tweet, I think I was like, expect like 5 stones max.
Mhm.
And that 1 extra stone that we got was specifically for the daily capsule. So that was separate from the 5 that they gave out, for basically lumping everything else together into one other category. So that 5 stone was for all the other bugs, and that 1 stone was for the daily capsule. They were never going to go past 5 stones. They just won't.
Mhm.
We used to have like this. I forget which exact bug this was, but there was one really, really annoying bug that happened, and it was persistent for like weeks at a time, and then they fixed it, and it was like 5 stones or something. So like they're just never going to give us more than that. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and the
They
thing
also-
about like the rank
Yeah, go
packs,
ahead.
that was kind of it was just a it was a glitch that didn't affect your gameplay or anything. And technically, if you managed to get in there before they fixed it, you were exploiting like a bug in the game. So obviously, they're not gonna, just because some people weren't able to exploit that error in the game, they're obviously not going to give any like compensation for that. So
Well,
unfortunately, if you missed it, it's tough.
My main concern with the box space stuff was actually regarding Goresh, because Goresh, I'm pretty sure you had originally the cap for box space, right? Like you couldn't go any higher than you already did, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Before
unless
this.
the only way you could get higher box space to me is if you bought the box space with the battlefield currency, which I haven't done. So
Okay. So then I guess that kind of weakens this. But my original worry was that because you've hit the limit, buying those things and enhancing your box space more, the game might not be optimized for that amount, which is probably why they haven't given people that much capacity yet. So that was my main concern, and that was why I thought potentially they might do some sort of rollback where they kind of undo all of that. But it looks like they're going to just be like, you know what, we screwed up. If you bought them, you get your stuff. Same thing with the monthly subscriptions. You will still be getting your original subscriptions that were seemingly canceled. So nobody needs to freak out. Everyone's going to be getting exactly what they're owed. And if you doubled up because you didn't know any better, you're going to get everything that you paid for. So at least they were good about taking care of those who actually spent more. So
yeah, I mean, I still have the extra box space, and that's just permanent now. So sure.
Yeah, lucky you. So and one clarifying point, Hydros points out from the Batcave, JP has had issues with links missing, resetting categories, or resetting period, categories missing on cards, etc. So yeah, I guess this is nothing new for Dokkan. This is
Okay, so
it's
that
like,
was selective.
how is an update not capable of being optimized after the first rollout? You know, carrying on to the global side. How is that just a simple copy and paste type thing? Why don't they? Is there no fix to this kind of thing? All right. That's it. All right. I guess that explains it. So overall, what's up? Oh no, I was just asking anybody. It was kind of rhetorical. But overall, I guess we can all agree this was hilarious and I fully enjoyed it. So thank you for the content, Dokkan. This was actually very entertaining. But now let's move on to some other topics on our show today, starting with upgrades galore. So on the JP side, we have seen several units getting upgrades. I don't know if we necessarily saw this coming. Well, I guess maybe we did. But Mass Saiyan, shout out to the homie who is in the call right now, Mas Ningen. Your EZA has finally arrived. We also got the Xenoverse TURs, Mira, Toa, and Demigra. So, guys, start from wherever. Which unit out of these, which upgrade has you the most hyped? Is it the EZA? Is it the TURs? Let's go.
I mean, I don't need to answer that question, surely.
Oh, yeah, you definitely like Toa, right? Toa's your favorite.
No. Demigra,
I mean,
Demigra's the
thick.
favorite.
Oh, yeah, Demigra. My bad. Yeah. What am I thinking?
I mean, Demigra is, well, actually, obviously Marseille as well, but Demigra is the one I already have Rainbow, so.
So yeah, taking a look at this guy's EZA, he's now pretty good. I mean, is there any other unit in the game that does what he does, raising attack and defense, causing immense damage, and lowering attack and defense? That's like a 4-point swing just from one attack, which is pretty intense. And then his leader skill got beefed up, his passive, his overall kit's been beefed up. This guy's changed quite a bit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's not. Go on.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they obviously wanted to keep the fact that he is mostly designed to be used against like those longer type events, like Legendary Goku event, the Infant Dragon Ball History events. He used to be almost unusable in Super Battle Road because he would have no passive, right? But now at least he gets the flat 100% attack and defense boost at the start of turn, no matter what you're doing. So I actually think this is not a terrible design because the way that they've been designing a lot of these units recently is, they're just like good everywhere. Like take a look at Tech Ultimate Gohan. Like there's no event in the game where he's subpar. So legitimately you could use him anywhere and he's good. Like you don't have to think twice about team building, and that I think is a bad way to design units because team building is a huge part of this game. And if you're all of a sudden just going to throw that to the wayside and not worry about team building, then that I think takes away like one of the better aspects of this game. So with a unit like Mass Saiyan, like him just being very, very, very powerful or dominant in one aspect of this game, I think is fine. He doesn't have to be good everywhere.
Is anyone here for Team Demigra? Because I think that's my most hype upgrade out of these. Taking a look at Demigra, he was one of the most forgettable, laughable units with just a terrible skill. There was just no hope for the guy. What? Oh, yeah, Ki +3. Sorry. What was it? Ki +3 when 50% or more HP, right? Yeah, excuse me. I'm sure you definitely use that on your SBR no item runs for sure.
I'm pretty sure I actually did use him on the Extreme Int because of his
lead?
stun chance. Oh, no, not as his leader skill, no.
Yeah, no, let me just make fun of the guy, all right? So now he gets his TUR, and now he is a souped up monster with a giant form too, which is pretty awesome. So, they're obviously still leaning into the whole stunning aspect, but he looks great. I don't know a thing about Xenoverse, but I'm excited for this unit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, you think about how when the first time we saw the stats for Cooler, and he has, when transformed, 180% attack and defense. And then, yeah, this guy, Demigra, of all units, has 180% attack and defense. I mean, as long as you have, like, the full passive activating. But I feel like, because all of these units are very sort of designed to be on extreme only, like, centric teams. But yeah, like, when he's got his full passive active, especially when you look at how he used to be, like, that's pretty ridiculous.
It's not very hard to have them on all extreme teams. I mean, like personally for me, out of those three, not counting the Mass Saiyan EZA, but just looking at the three Xenoverse cards, I actually like Toa the most because she's a buffed up support unit, and then as long as you just have her some extreme units, then she's given even more attack and defense, and then she gets attack and defense herself. So she's not like, super weak and going to get obliterated or anything like that. So I really don't think hitting their full passive is really that hard.
Yeah, especially Toa, she's extreme tech and she's sealed and she supports and extreme tech really needs that in my opinion. So yeah, Toa.
Okay. Can we just say this right now? Extreme tech. There's no way extreme tech is the hardest extreme super battle road stage anymore. There is absolutely no way. All right, it's been done free to play already. I've done it on my channel with a very close free to play team. Now you've got a Toa added onto there and everything like that. Like no, it's not even a competition that Super AGL is the hardest stage out of Extreme Super Battle Road now. All right, I don't want to hear it anymore. No more. No more.
Could we also take a look at the Mira? I'm starting to notice that teams are forming because that was going to be the next talking point. Ranking
Yeah.
these Xenoverse TURs. No one's really said anything about the Mira unit. Does he not have any claim to the throne of superior Xenoverse TUR in this little conflict?
So I was going to mention him next because obviously they each serve their own roles. So I don't want to necessarily say that I think he's better than Toa because obviously you primarily use her as a support unit. But then as long as she's getting her full passive, she's just a support unit. That is also pretty solid. Like by herself, she's not going to just get you killed in the third slot. But I actually tweeted about Mira after the first showcases went up of these units once we'd got the data download. And he's going to be really, really good on the power absorption team. Because a lot of people don't like running Android 13, and obviously a popular rotation to run on the teams that they fit on is Super 17 now that he's got his Easy A with 13. But this guy will actually link up pretty well with Super 17. So that rotation will be incredibly strong. And then because you don't have Android 13 on that team, you don't have to bring a third Android to make sure that he transforms, and then that frees up that final slot for your team as well. So that like the LR Bootank's power absorption team is going to be insanely good with him on it, I think.
So I'm somebody who's been asking for that Demigra to come to Dokkan for a long time, the one with him transforming into the giant form. I actually thought it would have been a different unit, but them making this guy the transforming one, I think is fine. The only thing I would say is I'm a little bit disappointed with how they handled it. I don't know. He's okay. I think people are underestimating him a little bit just because of the fact that like he has a lot of utility with stunning, and I think people overlook that a lot. Like stunning is one of the most powerful effects you can do in Super Battle Road. So I think that's a good part of his kit that people overlook a lot of the time.
That's like the main reason why I like him.
Yeah.
Well, plus, doesn't he stun in his giant form? Which I don't think we've seen before.
But is that one turn or is it multiple turns?
I would assume multiple.
I think
Otherwise,
it's
it would
one
be
turn.
pointless, right? Because it'd be pointless for him to have it if it was only one turn. Because then
I'm pretty sure the Rage BRS also does that, but it's for one turn.
oh,
no, since it's in his super attack, he has a rare chance to stun the enemy. So that if it triggers, it would last for 2 turns.
yeah, that's what I would. That's what I would have
If
assumed.
a
Because then
chance
that's
to
actually
stun
really
is in the
good.
passive, if it's a passive stun, then that lasts for 1 turn.
Yeah, because then that's actually good because you get your 2, well, depending on RNG, I guess 1 to 3 turns of giant form, and then as long as you can get one of those off, because I think he also gives himself 1 key. Is it 1? So it makes it a little bit easier to super in the giant form. If you can get all 3 of those attacks that turn to be supers, and then one of them gets the stun, then you come out of the giant form mode and the enemy's still stunned, which is pretty awesome. Plus, like I say, I think he's one of those units though, like the link level update has kind of made all Great Ape units like this, but like he's so much better not transformed, which I think is one of the weird things about his card, because now he gets such a huge like attack and defense buff, and then if you've leveled up his links, you don't want him to transform.
The entire giant transformation mechanic in this game is just completely terrible. So
Yeah.
Now that we have like the whole new transformation type systems with active skills and all sorts of things like that, like they need to either change.
I literally let out like a moan every time I get a giant.
Kensei, let me throw this scenario at you. You gotta save 2, you gotta baba 2. Which ones are you saving? Which ones are you bobbing?
I'll probably
Careful,
save
Kensei.
all of them.
Yeah, be very careful. Masaningan's in here.
I have no. Probably nobody. I'll probably save everybody.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you. Answer,
All right,
come on,
so
play my game.
All right, so gun to my head, I would save Marseillan and Mira.
Masanin and Mira. No, Demigra? Come on.
I have to
Giant form,
agree with
I
that.
love
giant
Super
form
17
stunner.
and the power absorption team.
A
so
giant
I
form
want
stunner
Mira.
is too good to pass up.
Yeah, but giant. Let's be honest. Who actually uses giant category? Like nobody.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. So no, nobody does. Don't even try to bluff that. Don't even try to.
They don't even acknowledge me. This is why I'm not in the tournament power. I see how it is.
Well, yeah, because
No,
it sounds like you'd be
I
running
would
a giant
personally
form
save,
team.
Massan and Toa though. I love support units, so I'd definitely be going with the support unit. So
So the last thing that I wanted to cover on this topic is the Dragon Ball Heroes collab that's coming up. So obviously that's a big deal because they're going to be celebrating their 10th year anniversary, right? So it's a pretty big monumental milestone for Dragon Ball Heroes. Is this kind of like a teaser to something even more coming in the Dragon Ball Heroes collab? Do you think that these units getting their TURs is any sort of indication that there's going to be particular units that are going to be arriving on that Heroes collab, or is it just coincidence?
I think there's going to be one. I think there's going to be our first ever Time Travelers Leaders Guild lot that is 170%, and I think it's going to be God Trunks. And of course, I think what me that I want from God Trunks is, of course, the Time Travelers 170, and this is going to be really hateful, but Realms of God. Realms of God as a sub leader. So that could happen because I don't think they're going to combine Time Travelers and the Heroes category together because literally they're one category. So I would think the subcategory is going to be Realms of God for the God Trunks.
What do you guys think about that?
That was my theory last year. Was it was going to be God Trunks because he was new in Heroes. He had just came out and just revealed. Like the whole stream last year of Heroes was literally based around God Trunks. So that was my theory last year. This year, I think it's going to be more based around a Super Saiyan 4 theme.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
that's what I've been saying.
I mean, there's two big like flags that we're seeing for that. Number one is we just got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who basically leads the Super Saiyan 4 category. That's number one. And then number two is we have that ticket in the database that is talking about a Super Saiyan 4 Broly, which doesn't really mean much because of the fact that it's just talking about like the whatever, Super Saiyan 3 Nappa, there it is, which is basically just talking about like the same sort of thing we had for the 5-year anniversary where you would summon, then you get tickets to sort of like have like a raffle chance at winning something in real life. That's the same thing for that Broly, but I mean, it makes no sense that that's the only thing we have, right?
Yeah.
That Super Saiyan 4 Broly one. So I don't know, maybe something Super Saiyan 4 team coming up here soon.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly on the last episode, but yeah, the fact that Gogeta's leader skill is very sort of geared around being essentially the Super Saiyan 4 category, but not really, just so you have a little bit of extra wiggle room. Like, it seems very likely that that's what we're going to see coming up.
I think Super Saiyan 4 Gohan and Bardock and Broly, it's going to be on the banner for sure. I think so.
I mean, okay, this might be the first time we've actually been in the same chat while talking about this again, but Masningen and I have both been saying from like last year's collab, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Broly, dual Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan 4 category. Right? Come on. Make the dream come true. Please.
Yeah, I think the Dokkan Fest, if they do one, the Dokkan Fest is surely going to be either Vegito or Broly. But
All right, and with that, let's move on to the next topic, talking about Prime Battle Frieza once again for like the 5th week in a row, but this time we actually have the build for this guy. We finally know the information for the LR Prime Battle Frieza EDA Extreme Class Key plus 490% across the board, greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn, causing Colossal, then greatly lowering attack and defense with Mega Colossal. This guy really, really got a boost. So we'll start with Goresh because we all know he wants to talk about this. What was your reaction when you saw this build? Do you think it's overly broken? Do you think it's perfect? Do you think that there's something that they still could have added? What do you think? What's your takeaway from all of this?
So when I first saw his kit, I knew exactly people were going to think he was underwhelming because the average player is going to look and be like, oh, 50% attack and defense, he's pretty bad. But there's like multiple factors that you have to consider with this guy. Number one, he is free to play, but regardless, he has one of the highest attack stats in the game. Because back when they were designing these like first few free to play LR units, this was even before they had a thought in their mind that these guys were eventually going to become summonable. Like LRs at this point, we didn't get a summonable LR for like 6 months after this guy came out. So I think they didn't really understand that that was how they wanted to balance these guys. And at the time of this guy's release, like he was one of the best units in the game. Like him and both the Prime Battle Goku as well, because this was like one of the only LRs you had access to. So him having one of the highest attacks in the game, plus the fact that he's getting the extra 5 super attack levels, and his link set are like the 3 biggest things that people don't really consider when they think about how good this guy's going to actually end up being. So on top of that, he like the amount of ki that he's getting from his passive, in addition to just his link set, also is a huge factor, because he basically is going to auto super or auto 18 key super every turn as long as you're fighting an super type enemy, and most of the enemies in this game are super type. Even when you consider like Super Battle Road, because of the fact that he's an extreme type enemy or an extreme type unit, all of the enemies he's going to be fighting in Super Battle Road are all super class. So that's going to help him even more. On top of that, I feel like his position on the teams that he's fitting on, I like him more as a floater, even though that sounds kind of weird, just because he's hitting like 7 million attack stats constantly. You'd think you'd want him as like a main rotation unit. But for me, like the fact that he gets most of his defense once he supers means that if you put him in the first slot, if he's getting hit before he supers, he's going to be taking more damage than he would be otherwise. So I think I like him more in slot 3. But obviously, you could easily rock him in slot 1. He's going to be ridiculous as well.
Yeah,
Can we just say?
Ultra
Oh God, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, can we say level 1 links for this guy? Obviously Rainbow, but level 1 links for this guy, hitting a 5 million attack stat, and if you get up to level 10 with big bad bosses and everything, and you have like cooler on rotation with him, 7 million attack stat. Like, come on. Like for a free to play LR, that's pretty ridiculous. So
yeah, well,
he's really fun to use. He is really fun.
The reason why they probably made him this good is because of the like huge amount of grinding you have to do to get him. First of all, you have to get both Prime Battle LRs. So you have to get Goku, you have to get Frieza. So you need the units necessary to even grind those stages. Then you need to Easy A the Prime Battle Goku. Then you need to Easy A the Prime Battle Frieza. So like in total, how many units do you need to like get this done? It's like 20 or something like that. So
man, I tweeted out something about that, because
Mhm.
if you don't like farming out free to play, you are in deep trouble. In deep trouble on this one. Sunblade, speaking of, I saw your tweet, man. You are ready to go with this Easy A. So that actually kind of goes in on what Goresh was just talking about. As far as the setup, as far as the prerequisites that go into getting this unit to max out, are you a fan of this type of thing? Because this is now, of course, the second unit to get this kind of a treatment. And obviously the first being the Goku. These guys seem to be kind of similar in terms of their build post Easy A. Do you feel like this process overall is the appropriate type thing to do for these types of units? And do you think it paid off with this guy's build?
So yeah, Goresh already hinted at that. So the more effort I have to put into this, the better the unit is going to be. So I really like this design because it gives me something to do, and it is so rewarding in the end. Yeah, Goresh laid it out. Frieza is so good, in my opinion. He completely overshadows the Goku. He has a pretty good position on teams. Yes, I like it. I like him. I'm eager to see what Akatsuki will do with it in the future. Like if one LR is going to Easy A, where we have to attend the event with 5 or 6 Prime Battle Easy A LRs. So yeah, excited. I'm excited about that. I like that.
Yeah, imagine the like surprise insane unit that they could drop once the 6 free-to-play LRs all have these Easy A's that all came from events like this, and then you have to use the team of all 6 of them.
I like it, man. I like it. Stay on top of the game. Stay up to date. If not, you'll be buried in all of this other stuff. I like that. There should be certain events like this that require you to keep up with the game. I think it's good. So, like, what would the next one be? Vegeta? Prime Battle Vegeta getting an Easy A, so you have to...
I think the Trunks. Maybe?
Or Trunks. Okay, Trunks. So then they have to do everything from these 2 Easy A's, and then like another 6 or 7 for Trunks.
Mhm.
I'm totally for that.
I think the Android 17 and 18 are next. I think so.
I hope so. The fact that Hercule got one before them and he was the second friend LR. Like, I know it fit the theme of the celebration at the time. But yeah, they definitely should get brought back to the front, because obviously they were the first first friend LR, and they were a huge grind, because especially back then when like the Dokkan events cost more stamina and you had to get events from like how many different Dokkan events, and then unfortunately it wasn't that long before they became quite outdated, and obviously now they're kind of at the point where I think even for free-to-play teams I don't think anyone really uses them, so I would definitely like to see them get this kind of treatment next.
Yeah,
One thing
but
go ahead.
But the procedure will be different, I think, because Hercules' procedure was sorry, Hercules' procedure was like pretty different because of the barbershop, and I don't think that you have to grind so many free-to-play units in order to easy A the androids.
Yeah, because his easy A method basically followed track with how you got him in the first place, wasn't it? Which was time gated, buying things from the barbershop. So it'd be interesting to see what they could do for the androids, because obviously you just had to friend summon to get them, and then to awaken them it was a whole bunch of different Dokkan events. So it'd be interesting to see. I wonder, because it fits the same kind of theme. I mean, I'm literally coming with this off the top of my head, but it could be, imagine if you had to use a bunch of medals from different existing easy A's for like summonable units, because that's how you had to get their medals to awaken them to LR in the first place. So
I like that. That will probably happen. I will say that now. Yes, this is a good idea. I like that.
If it happens, everyone, remember episode 7. I said it right here.
By the way, good news for global players. You guys need to pay attention, because some of those units that are needed for getting this Prime Battle Frieza's EZA are already available. So if I were you, and I'm a global player, I would get started on those farms right now. Get them done as soon as possible so you don't have to worry about it. And then when the time comes, you're just ready to plug and play. So global shaft? Nah, that's not a thing. You have the gift of time. Take advantage of it. Am I right, global players?
Oh yes. Yeah, we're only waiting on the awakening and EZA for Slug now. Everyone else is out.
Now recording.
So
you gotta love the bots. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, the thank you celebration. The celebration that, I like how bot just bumped Kensei. The celebration that everyone is talking about. Is it the thank you celebration? Is it the other thing? If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Garesh's video. His title says it all. But let's go back and just give our honest feedback about the celebration overall. Some people like it, some people don't. We can start with the banners. We can start with the other content, the free to play farming. What do you guys think? Was this a good move for global as far as this campaign rollout? Was it yay or nay? What's your opinion?
I would say it was fine. That's it. Like, it's very plain. It's very expected. It's very, I don't know. It's just fine. Like, nothing to go crazy about, but nothing to like be upset about. Which I think in itself is actually pretty bad. I don't think Dokkan can just be doing fine celebrations. They need to do hype celebrations.
They do.
Yeah, especially for this. Like, obviously they delay it for so long, but it's supposed to be the thank you celebration. We only get so many like dual Dokkan fests. And yeah, it's cool that we get the discounts and the 3+1 and all that stuff, but I mean, we talked about it in depth a lot on the last episode, but I mean, I think each and every one of us had our own ideas of what they could or should do and how they should change the banners, or what they could potentially do to change the banners. And so the fact that they literally did nothing to them is kind of disappointing.
I feel like that was a no-win situation either way, because a lot of times for JP banners, they have the units, the other units that are not the headliners, the ones that are also featured. A lot of global players are like, "Ooh, I want that one to come back. I want that one." And then they seem to always pull a last-minute change where they do remove one or two of those units that should have been there, but now they're different. And then people complain about that. But this time around, they kept it exactly the same. And while in this particular case, all of the other featured units have been around quite a bit recently, I still think that like it's kind of a lose-lose situation for them either way, because if they change something, people are going to be critical of it, and if they don't, people are going to be critical just as much. So I guess, I mean, this was just a bad situation from the start, because when we knew that Gotenks and Boo were going to be shifted this far to the end of the year, after already completing the Majin Buu saga, you knew it wasn't going to end well. Like, this was just the one celebration that they had to get out of the way. They're trying to get whatever revenue that they can so that they can get ready for the holiday season.
Yeah, and I think the timing of this celebration doesn't work anymore. They can't just throw the Golden Week celebration from JP that they got back in like the end of April to middle of November for global. It just doesn't work. And it's not because of the units. It's because of, well, it's partly because of that, but it's mostly, in my opinion, because of all the events and all the stuff that's coming out now. It's just like, who cares? The least they could have done to make the celebration at least semi-bearable was to put in the 10 star Battle Road category stages.
Oh,
but they didn't even do that.
Don't even get me started on that, because It's been so long. We've been waiting for it's so long already, and then it was when I was looking at the list of stages. I think it was probably like a month or so ago. It was only then that it jogged my memory that obviously one of the stages is youth, and the game obviously for Super Battle Road it offers you those like friend units that you can use that aren't like fully built up and stuff. And for the youth category stage, it offers you either the choice of Kid Goku or Gotenks. So when I saw that, it was like, okay, I guess we're going to have to wait until Gotenks comes out, and then they'll finally drop it. So seeing that those weren't part of the celebration, like maybe they could be part of a part 2 or something, but like seeing them not drop with this was incredibly disappointing for me.
For the JP players, when you guys had this during your celebration, you also had a type of legendary summon cascading banner type thing where like every few days you would get a different legendary summon featuring a different LR. But on global, we're only getting 2. We're getting the Baby Vegeta legendary summon and the Goku Frieza. So Sunblade and Talon, what was exactly the reasoning for this for your campaign when you got all of the various legendary summons, and why do you think that we're only getting 2 on global?
I don't actually know why we got so many. I figured it was just simply one of those, hey, just like past celebrations beforehand, here's a bunch of random LR banners if you want. That's about it. I personally don't care about any of these LR banners. I don't think most people do. As for why JP decided to just throw a bunch at them and then say, hey, global, you're only gonna get 2 of them technically, I have no idea.
There's one reason why these may be really good. And that reason is because it depends on if they go ahead and add another LR to the coin shop or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that could
Okay, that could be it.
That could either be Vegeta and Nappa or UI Goku.
If it's UI Goku, people are gonna freak out.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Yeah. It just seems out of left field to put random. I mean, why not just put one banner? Like why 2? It makes no sense.
The problem is it's funny because I guess it fits the theme of the disappointing choices of this celebration, but like we've already been talking about how the Dual Dokkan Fest itself is already less hype, mainly because of the stuff that we know is going to be coming in the future. And so like a lot of people don't like to take the risk of summoning on legendary banners anyway, so like throwing them in as part of the celebration, it's literally just another 2 banners that you probably shouldn't bother summoning on. So it's just a really odd choice, I think.
Kensei, are you a Pilaf Stro aficionado? Are you into spending on all of those packs and whatnot?
Yes, I am. I was gonna buy them, but I didn't have the money for it. So next time I get paid, I'm definitely gonna buy those tickets. I think they're really good, especially for the whales. Definitely really good that we get those premium tickets, because remember, you get it guaranteed, but then again, you're not guaranteed the character that you want the most. So
yes.
So you might get the chef. So I think it's okay, but sometimes I think it's a scam. So it just depends on the banner for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I always call it Pilaf scam. That's always been my thing. Pilaf scam. Unless it's a good deal, then I'll call it Pilaf Stro for that one thing. So do you guys think overall for this banner and the amazing units that are featured on the banner, I'm not being sarcastic at all, by the way, do you think that this is a Pilaf scam or a Pilaf Strove?
I mean, I think, like, I know you like to jokingly call it that, but I don't think it's ever been a scam, apart from maybe when it very first came out. I think all of these ticket packs that they release for Dokkan Fest banners have always been good value when you compare them to the exchange rate for stones, because at the end of the day, it's all RNG. Like, as Kensei kind of alluded to, anyone who watched my summons, I got incredibly unlucky. I bought all of those premium ticket packs that give you the guaranteed featured unit, and only one of them out of the 4 was a unit that I didn't already have rainbowed, and none of them were Gotenks or Boo. So I got the bad end of the RNG stick on that one. But again, all of summoning is RNG. Like, if I'd bought stones, it would have cost me more to get the amount of summons, and they wouldn't have been guaranteed featured. So I always think they're a good option for people who spend on the game, because the way I look at some banners, and this is a prime example, is I will probably buy all of the sales, but I don't want to use all of those stones on these banners. I want to start building up my nest egg for like the next big thing that I actually
Yeah.
want to summon for.
Mhm.
So then the ticket packs give me an option of something else to buy just to do summons on this banner. And then I can buy the sales to save for later, because I don't like to buy full price stones unless I'm really chasing a unit. So I do think the ticket packs are a good option most of the time. If you're somebody who spends money, obviously. But
Mhm.
Also,
think
something
we'll
else to
look
talk about is the fact that these stone sales are very good.
Mm,
Mhm.
Like,
They are very good.
they're like anniversary level good.
yeah.
And I think if you're a paying player in this game, it's probably worth it just to buy the stones and just not summon.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunblade, you've already had some time with these units. Is it even worth investing in these guys? Because let's face it, this is not the most hyped celebration. It's not the most hyped banner, and it's coming randomly at the end of something that's already kind of been resolved for global. So do you feel like, for those people who already tried to summon and were not able to pull Gotenks or Boo, are they really missing out? Are these two units worth the time and effort to actually crank out more summons and get them? Or can you live without them?
I would say the latter, so you can live without them, but I'm not saying that both the units are trash. I like the Boo, I like the Gotenks, but they are not like putting me in a hype status. Like, they are solid, but nothing more, but they are not trash. So I agree with Goresh here, just buy the sales. Keep the stones for upcoming celebrations, especially a potential global first or a good New Year's banner. And then you're good to go. But those two Dokkan Fest exclusives, like, they are not blowing me away. I rarely use them, especially since the new Boo, the other Boo tanks is coming out. So, yeah.
One word of caution that I have for people too is keep in mind the same exact thing happened last year. JP got Trunks and Zamasu back in Golden Week, end of April, early May. Those units returned, but they returned on the download celebration banners. And then obviously Global doesn't have those banners coming up. So what happened with Global with Trunks and Zamasu is Trunks and Zamasu were sort of they haven't returned for like 8 months or so, because they first came back on the anniversary banner.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
it is possible that we don't see the return of this Boo or Gotenks until the 6th year for Global,
Yep.
which is in July.
Yep.
So if you're somebody who's going to skip these banners, just keep that in mind, because that is a very highly likely possibility that's going to happen again this year.
But it's not a big deal, in my opinion. The cards are not that great that you have to get them now.
Yeah, but I would say leader skill for the Boo is very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's better than the LR ones. Yeah, I agree. Totally.
All right. So with that, I think this will be a good stopping point. So we'll go ahead and send the show to break for just a second, but don't go away, because we will be right back with your questions right after this. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, we are back with the second half or part 2 of the podcast. And before we start, I just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to Zephyr for gifting 100 subs during this podcast. He's been one of our top contributors and top supporters throughout our time being on Twitch as well as on YouTube. So huge shout out to him. And thank you to Andre for the 159 bits. Appreciate that as well. And with that, I'll have Toon take it over, and we'll go through some questions here.
Thank you, Gresh. And folks, if you have been following us on Twitter, which you should be, then you know a couple of days before the show, we like to post the question or just the announcement for the show where you guys can post your questions in the replies. So basically, before the show, we gather a bunch of your questions and we try to answer them for you during the show. So we will begin with our very first question coming from Dirty Rooster. Dirty Rooster asks, do you think these Prime Battle EZA LRs are their way of trying to test out new kind of unique passives for future Dokkan Fests?
So I will go first. I will not talk about the passive, but let's start with the Goku, with the Tech LR Goku. When he does his 18 key, he increases the critical hit chance for the entire rotation by 10%, I believe. So that was pretty unique. And I hope that Akatsuki is exploring this further, like increasing the evasion chance for the entire rotations or something like that. So this was a pretty good start, but I don't think that they are saving that for those EZA LRs. They can do that with every Dokkan Fest exclusive, in my opinion. But yeah, that's just me.
Anyone else?
I don't think so personally. I think this is just their way of trying to bring in the LR Prime Battle cards into a modern era, essentially, in terms of having a good passive and everything. And maybe they are generally able to just at least make some somewhat unique passives. Because I mean, third and first turn units are nothing new in Dokkan. Like if we're looking at Frieza, for example, or anything like that. If anything, I'd be looking at what they do with the super attacks, because like that Goku, wasn't he the first unit that gives critical chance to your allies?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if anything, I think that's what they would probably be looking at, right? Like, testing out what kind of super attack effects and everything. But in terms of the passive, I don't personally think so. That's just my opinion, though.
In terms of testing out different kits for units, I think the best way they can do that is not with like these big ticket units, but like just free to play units. Like we saw with the Golden Frieza and Sorbet, like he gets like a 100% chance to stun after receiving an attack, right? That's not something that we've ever seen before. Like that's, I believe, exclusive to that Frieza only. So I feel like a lot of the testing that you're doing with some of these units is on those free-to-play units, which should be. Because if a free-to-play unit is like designed weirdly and it flops, it's not as big of a deal. Where if you have a Prime Battle EZA and you give it some like really weird passive that doesn't end up working out, like it's forever, it's screwed, and nobody's going to care about it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what I was
where
going
they
to
should
say.
be. Yeah, they should be focusing on that instead of
Because
experimenting on these units instead.
Because we've kind of seen that already with like when they brought out the exchange and then the partner supers. It was like a free to play unit that came out with it first, and then. But yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to make. I think like an EZA for an existing unit, which is supposed to like bring them back into the forefront of the meta. I think that's not where they want to be risking trying out new things.
I just thought of something cool. What if this might be very stupid, but I'm gonna try it anyway. What do you think if they added a new thing where they blinded you and you couldn't see actually who you were targeting for an attack? Do you think that would be cool? No? All right. Let's move on to the next question, brought to us by Marks. Wow, you guys really.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, technically the only way that would work is in events where there's multiple enemies, which there aren't really that many of now, apart from Super Battle Road.
Anyway, forget it. I shouldn't have said anything. Marks asks, what do you think of the idea of branching awakenings, like one unit awakens into different units based on metals used?
Only
so
if it's
Eevee,
free to
basically.
Only if it's free to play, because I don't want to pull have to now pull 10 copies.
Oh, yeah, that's true. This has to be a free to play thing. Yeah, otherwise it's not gonna happen.
Well, okay. If they made this free to play, they have always done summonable units of every possible free to play thing that they've done in this game. So you know it's coming at some point if they made it free to play.
Can you imagine? You have to branch out into 4 different units. That's 14 times 4, right? So
Yeah.
50. God, I'm good.
I'm okay, thanks. Now, something that along a similar line, rather than just dismiss this completely, poor Marks, but something that they could implement that wouldn't be as horrible is the idea of having a unit that, I don't know how they would work, like how you would select which one to use, but based around the whole active skill and sort of transformation thing that we have already, the potential to transform into one of 2 different forms would be cool, because then it's still the same unit, so you don't need those extra copies. But that would be something that could be cool in the future.
During the day, if you awaken a unit, he turns into a Kai. At night, if you awaken a unit, it turns into a demon. If you awaken the unit while you're standing next to a tree, it turns into a tech unit. If you're in hot temperatures and you awaken the unit, it turns into an STR.
Yeah, and you'd still see them more than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Oh yeah,
Burn.
true enough.
All right, moving on to the next question, brought to us by Chilled Needs a Good Card.
No, he doesn't.
Wait, why is Goresh? You're not supposed to post questions on your alt.
Yeah, come on, Goresh, man, come on.
Goresh got that KD burner.
He's got
What
that
would you
Atlo
guys
chill.
like to see from a potential guild system, such as group raids, shared quests, etc.? Ooh. If you're on my guild, you're good. I got you.
That. I think, I haven't played many other gacha games that have that kind of system, but Grand Cross has some cool stuff like that I think could work, where it has like the guild boss, and then based on the total score of all of your guild members, you then get sort of like Chain Battle, you get like the rewards based on the percentage tier that your guild was in. Because obviously they wouldn't need to add any sort of new like co-op or PvP modes. Like there's a lot of stuff they could do with the gameplay that exists already. And that's the kind of stuff that I would like to see.
I think that would vastly enhance the game in terms of, or just the depth of it, because you're now no longer just playing the game for yourself, you're playing it for others, and that adds a whole different element, a whole different twist to your approach on events. When you're trying to do things, you're not only just thinking about, okay, I've completed my library, I'm done, I'm just going to go farm links now. Now you're going to be thinking about other things like, okay, how are we doing on like our weekly Dokkan event, no item runs or whatever. Now you're going to be more focused, more engaged, and you would have to, do more in the game, which would encourage people to maybe go back to things like Super Strikes or, the Hero Extermination event, things that nobody ever wants to do. Now they might have a reason to do it because of guild rewards or whatever joint collaborative efforts you guys have to do as a team to get certain requirements done. So I think that'd be really good. I like
Super Strikes, huh?
Yep. I'm still not done opening up the paths for all my Super Strike units.
Because you don't need to.
Same. Yeah, same. I haven't.
I'm still I like to complete everything. That's part of it. All right. Respect Super Strike.
I think personally it would be a cool idea with some kind of guild type thing, where you have raids and shared quests and everything. The only thing though is that you have to make sure basically that some member of Akatsuki, whoever's spearheading it, or if there's a small part of a team that's working on it, they have to keep on top of it and be able to whether it's refreshing things or keep things up to date or anything like that. You have to make sure that they are on top of that. Otherwise, I feel like it could just be one of those, all right, it's in the game, and then it's not really, mentioned or touched up or anything like that for the next month or something like that, even if there is, issues or people are getting it done way, way, way too fast or anything like that. So that'd be about the only thing.
All right, let's move on to the next question, brought to us by Lewis Charles. Lewis Charles asks, do you think it's time to put the 50% support type units in the main pool, since summoning on the type banners are quite a waste and people should lose out on units due to the banner once every year?
Well, that's exactly why they don't do it, right?
Yeah, that's why they don't do it. Yeah.
Right.
I personally think they should keep it as like this, as it is right now, because I remember correctly, those type of banners they give you like potential orbs, and that's a really good thing about it. I mean, I haven't been summoning on those banners because I don't have the stones for it, but like it usually comes around during like big celebrations. So I'm surprised it's not during in this one, but usually those banners comes around during like the anniversary. So I think they should keep it as it is right now. Personally, that's my personal opinion, because they're really unique units, and I think they should separate from the main banners.
Well, I think one of the reasons why they even put them on there as like exclusives is to make it sort of like give those units the illusion that they're like super exclusive.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Yes.
if you take a look at the power creep we've had in this game, like when the Gohan and what was the other one, and the Vegeta, first got their awakening, they were like ridiculously powerful. Like they were some of the best units in the game, hands down. And then you take fast forward to like a year later now, where we have like these ridiculous Dokkan Fest URs that are like, it's like not even close. Like they can't even compete with like those units anymore. So the way that they get you to still summon for those units, even though they're on these terrible banners, is to make them appear like they're like super exclusive. And it's like, how often do we get these banners to come around? Like how often did we get the int banner? It was like twice in like a year's time. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they do it that way. It's just a way for them to make them seem premium, or more premium than they really are.
I mean, I can tell you, I've never had a single support unit except for the TN, and I haven't really felt like I've missed out, especially since, like you said, the power creep. You know, the game is constantly moving forward and moving in the upward trajectory in terms of everyone's power. So I haven't really felt like, you know what, if I had the support unit for the int type, things would be different. Or, you know, because I'd be more thinking like, if I had this LR, or if I had this Dokkan Fest lead skill, I would be better off. So the supports are kind of, for me, not really, I haven't really felt like I'm missing out on it. And I've never really cared to summon. I've done like 1 or 2 summons on each banner. I constantly get chefed, and I say, you know what? I'm fine with it. I don't need them.
Well, maybe the second form cell, he's really good for extreme tech. So
yeah.
We have Demon King Piccolo now.
Dude, that 50% super boo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
okay, I know.
Yes, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to cope
So-
with the fact I don't have them.
the thing is, I thought about this recently because I don't have the TN, and I know obviously it's something that I chose to do myself, but like doing the no items run for Super Tech Extreme Super Battle Road would have been so much easier if I had the TN. And so whilst I understand that the like strategy of they don't want to put them in the general pool because they want it to be a reason for people to summon on the type banners, then at the very least they should bring them back more often. Because even if you threw like one of the type ones up like every month, it means you're still only seeing like a couple of those banners twice a year. And, you know, not everyone's going to summon on them every time they come around, but at least they are actually coming around more often. Because sometimes we've seen them come at like really weird times. Because wasn't it the physical one was here last? Was it just before the worldwide celebration? So it's like a really risky time for them to drop that banner. Like if you actually wanted to summon, because I summoned for the Super Boo, and fortunately I got lucky and I got him in like a couple of multis. But that's like a really risky time to be summoning on a banner when you know a huge celebration is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's like who's summoning for that Gohan when like the Tech Gohan just came out like right.
Yeah, exactly.
Came out. So.
Exactly.
Can
So
you imagine though if they plug those? Sorry to cut you off, man.
no, that's cool.
If they plug those 2 units, the Gohan and the Super Boo that you mentioned, if they plug them into these banners right now, how do you think people would have reacted to that?
As unfeatured or featured?
As featured on the banners.
Everyone would have summoned probably.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, what you mean on the dual Dokkan Fest banners?
Yeah.
Like featured units on the dual Dokkan Fest.
I mean, it'll be interesting because people would probably be interested in having those 2 units.
Yeah.
Although it would be a weird fit because they don't match the typings of the main actual units. Like I could see Gohan being on Gotenks's banner because they're obviously on the youth category together and they're both in. But yeah, I mean that'd be interesting. Like it would be cool to see them added on to other banners, like even if they didn't put them in the general pool. But yeah, it kind of feels like one of the many things that they've just kind of been forgotten, and it's like they're only going to be on those banners, and those banners are only going to come around every now and then, which is a little bit disappointing because whilst they're not necessary to have, they are obviously useful to have on some team builds. Because it's weird because they vary so differently in power. Because like the best ones out of the group are like actually still pretty good, and then the worst ones like Pan, you just wouldn't use. So,
all right, let's move on to the next question brought to us by DBFZ. The question is, how should Global go about changing the Golden Week units release schedule? I think they could make a New Year's a joint celebration, then release the Golden Week units for Global in place of their normal time slot. I don't know what else they'd do.
Okay. I'm about to say something very controversial. And
Strap
this is
in.
something.
Here we go.
Well, this would be like one of the biggest changes they've ever made. But I think they should just scrap the whole idea of celebrations. Obviously, for big things like the anniversary, yeah, that would be a celebration. But like, we don't need every single piece of content to be tied to a celebration. I think that's a very bad idea. The way Legends actually does it, I think, is good. They just have like weekly updates, where like every week there's an update, and then you get certain events that are released weekly and units that come out weekly and stuff like that. So we don't need everything to be tied to a celebration, because what that means, if things are tied to a celebration, we just get into the habit of, there's like a period where you have like 15 events releasing all at the same time, and then the next like 3 weeks are just nothing. So I would rather it be spread out like that, and like there's stuff to do every week, and you're not just finishing everything in the first like day, and then the rest of like the month is just dead. So I think scrap the celebration idea. We don't need everything to be celebration. No one's celebrating thank you celebrate. Like, what is that? Like, I don't know what any of these celebrations are. Like, the anniversary, yes, 100% should be a celebration. The worldwide celebration is a good idea as well. But like, other than those big ones, why does everything have to be celebration? I don't know.
Yeah, because the funniest one is when we get those like filler ones on Global, and they just like they call it a celebration and give it some really weird name, and it's just like a weird filler celebration for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like, what is it? Springtime jumping around celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
But yeah, in terms of the actual question itself, like they definitely should change it. Like that's the huge thing that we've said on this episode, the previous episode. It's just too long to wait. Now, based on the timing of when the worldwide celebration is, I don't know if it would ever be feasible for that to be another dual celebration, because obviously there's no like Western equivalent for Golden Week like happening at the same time. But yeah, even so, they need to change this idea, because sometimes we've seen in the past, so on average the Dokkan Fests are what, like, well, I know it used to be for about 4 to 5 months, but we've seen some quicker, because obviously Gohan was the Dokkan Fest before the worldwide celebration for JP, and then came out straight after the worldwide celebration on Global. So they do shorten the gap sometimes. So I think for the Golden Week units, they just really need to look at shortening the gap rather than having that like ironclad, oh, this celebration is in November on Global, because it's just too long.
All right, let's move on. We got a couple more questions left. Moving on to Rain25 Shine. And Rain asks, what older categories would you like to see new leaders for, and who would those leaders be? Namekians.
Yeah, Namekians, and the leader should be Piccolo.
Yeah, no, but make his name the Namek, please, for the love of God. How is that so difficult? He is the Namekian who lost his name.
Right, dude.
Or
How is that? How is that? Wait, what did I say? Oh yeah, the Namekian, not the
Namek.
Namek.
The planet. The planet
Yeah,
is now
the
leader.
planet. The Namekian who has long lost his name. Why is that so difficult? I felt like they really dropped the ball with that on the physical Piccolo. Do another one. Make it right, damn it, Namekians.
So I would go with Shadow Dragon Saga, because I want to see an extreme type Shadow Dragon Saga team now, because the current one is pretty much dominated by the Super Saiyan Force. So maybe an LR Omega who leads extreme Shadow Dragon Saga allies. Pretty much the same treatment as Realm of Gods with also master units. So that's what I like to see.
I think we'll probably see the Sin that transforms into Omega will potentially be the 170 Shadow Dragons lead.
I want a world tournament leader.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the category's
Yeah.
not great, but like, could we
Who would be a
actually have
good
a
lead
proper
for
leader
that?
for it? I mean,
Yeah, who would be a
Junior.
good lead? Ma Junior?
Yeah, we don't have any Mud Junior in the game that's
Yeah.
playable other than the one that is discontinued from like 2017. Actually, probably even earlier, probably 2016.
So maybe like a dual Dokkan Fest Ma Junior Teen Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is with that Goku, he wouldn't be called Teen because the Feet
Mhm.
Kamehameha one is that same one, and he's just called Goku.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
but okay, you know what I mean. Anything else?
I'm just looking
Peppy
for some
Gals.
of the older ones now. Yeah, like Peppy Gals doesn't have a full lead, which hilariously, as I think we've mentioned at various points in the past, most of the people that are here at some point, the fact that the team is actually pretty damn good already. So if they actually got a 170 lead,
That would
that
be
team would
destructive,
be like
man.
up in
Yeah.
the top tiers of like teams in the game.
That's all they really need is the leader.
You think Chi-Chi
Um,
with 120% defense to the whole rotation is good?
Yeah, imagine that on a team that has like 170% attack and defense leader skill. Oh yeah, that would be insane. Obviously it's not an old category, and I guess one of the main reasons why they haven't brought out a new leader is because it is one of the biggest categories in the game. But we still only have the highest attack lead for Pure Saiyans is still only 150.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
be-
we only have one Wicked Bloodline leader.
true. I mean, technically, obviously, everybody just uses STR Cooler now, but he technically isn't a Wicked Bloodline leader. But who else? I mean, well, actually, yeah, Dragon Ball Seekers doesn't have a Dokkan Fest leader. It's a summonable LR or a free-to-play unit. So
Yeah.
that could be
Still the best free
interesting.
to play team in the game, though. Still
Yeah,
the best
yeah,
free
yeah.
to play team.
Very true. And then I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier. Actually, it was before we started recording. We were talking about Marseille. Time Travelers needs a 170 leader because Time Travelers is actually a really good team. But yeah, one of the reasons I don't really run it or obviously use it for like showcases or anything is because it only has a 150 leader.
Mhm.
You know what
so
else
yeah.
needs a? You know what else needs a real leader? Dragon Ball Heroes.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
Hopefully we're going to see that soon.
It'll be happening in a month. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I called it.
know.
Yeah. Oh, and Joined Forces. The Joined Forces still only has. Is
No,
it Kale and
Goku
Khalifa?
Vegeta.
Oh.
Yeah.
Goku
Oh.
and
Yeah, the
Vegeta.
the
Oh, wait,
LR
yeah,
Goku and
because
Vegeta.
we don't have them
Huh?
yet. That's
Oh, Blue Dudes. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, Blue Boys is.
That's why I forgot
Blue
them.
Man Group.
All right, we just got a couple more questions left, so let's wrap this up with our next question coming from Bartre Goddio. Do you think they should do something with Shenron? I really think they could rework him.
I
his
mean, like the
design?
story. I mean, there's no story, so then how would they? I mean, I don't know. Just Dokkan like completely like forgot about the story, so I don't know how they
Yep.
could really rework him like that. So like, literally at this point, they replaced Purunga for Shenron. That's what I think. So I think Shenron is just forgotten, and then the story as well. So I don't think they're gonna rework him at all. So Purunga is literally just like the one that you're gonna be worried about most of the time. But then again, Purunga should have came around the worldwide campaign, but apparently he came in during the thank you celebration.
They've
Yeah, I
used every
guess-
possible version of the Shenron, right?
Maybe Super Shenron,
Yes.
maybe.
Super, Purunga, regular, and Black Star, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there?
No, they never did Ultimate, did they?
Which one is that
Ultimate?
one?
The red one.
Oh no. Well,
Wait, the red one with
Kind
the
of.
Black Star Dragon Balls?
Yeah, because we had the Smoke Shenron, but did we have the Ultimate?
Yeah,
Shenron?
wasn't that a thing during the 4-year?
Was it?
no.
Yeah, Smoke Shenron was during the 4-year.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was.
Smoke Shenron,
Okay.
but
No,
I'm not-
Smoke
I'm not
Shenron was.
talking about-
I'm talking about the Black Star Dragon Ball, like Shenron, the red
I
one.
don't think we did.
No, they never done that.
So what I was gonna say was
Hmm.
maybe they could copy Grand Cross and do something with their stages where they just reverse it and do like reverse stages, and then like at
They
the
could.
end you get a Black Star Dragon Ball Shenron doing something.
That'd be kind of cool. Because yeah, I think like the story, like Kensei was saying, they kind of, it seems like they kind of forgotten about the story. But then I guess the way I look at it is, on the other hand, is obviously back when new story stages were being released,
Mhm.
the actual story events that we were getting were not very good. Whereas now the actual story events are more in depth and have more stages.
Okay, my argument for the quest mode is why do you want more quest stages? Give me some
Zones.
reasons.
Yeah, literally
So-
the only reason anyone wants them is more stones. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my argument is, why would you not just take the stones that you would put for new stages in quest mode and just give it to us in other ways?
Yeah,
And then you
exactly.
can just scrap the quest mode, which is what they've
Yeah,
done.
that's what I'm saying. That's like the
Mhm.
new story events, because some of the old story events used to be like 3 stages sometimes, and now we get ones that have like 12, have different like sometimes useful items farmable from different stages and stuff. So it just kind of seems they've now gone down that route more rather than just
there
adding
is-
a bunch of quest stages.
There are 0 reasons to continue that quest mode other than the only reason why it even exists is for the incredible gems and
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
experience. That's it.
I was going to say, are you not heavily invested in the story, Goresh?
No, I have to say no.
You know, I literally don't
You know-
know an ounce of the story.
No, so I was
Yeah,
going to
me
say, you
too.
know, the one thing that sticks in my mind, right, is when I was playing, and I can't remember off the top of my head what stage it was, but the last stage was one where you fought against Broly. It was before that. I think it was before the last time they added new ones.
Yeah, the base Broly.
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
fought against Broly. And as far as I can remember, in the story, once you've beaten Broly, there was a massive explosion, and everyone, including Trunks, was knocked unconscious. Then eventually, months later, they released some new quest stages, and it literally just started off on some other thing, and you were now fighting androids. So, like, I don't think the story even really existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Great story, bro.
I know, right? Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the final question of these batches of questions, and it's brought to us by Zihal, Commandment of Gaming. Hey, Zihal. What do you think Dokkan can do to spice up new unit releases? Every unit released recently has been mostly unga boonga with little to no variety. I was like, what the hell is that?
Give them a new interesting mechanic, a really interesting one. So yeah.
Blinding units.
How did that work on a summonable unit, though?
Remember when the Ginyu Force free-to-play units came out and people were like flabbergasted that Jace could see the locations of super attack?
Mhm.
Mhm.
We need that. But
Yeah.
we need new mechanics like that to be just constantly like added to the game.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
that
we
was exciting. Because as soon as it came out, not only was it an interesting new ability, but obviously one of the first things that come to mind is like, oh, when are we going to see this on like an actual summonable unit? And yeah, we talked about like earlier, like they've been adding those new effects on certain units, like the Prime Battle Goku having effects. I mean, that's already an effect that existed in the game, but just being delivered in a different way. And yeah, I think that's the kind of thing they need to be doing, because everybody, like, on the one hand, everybody likes to see big numbers. So when you see like LR Jiren comes out and you see what like attack stat he does on turn 1, he obviously looks impressive, he hits for lots of damage, but those are not necessarily like the fun units to use. So they definitely need to come up with more interesting things.
You don't like 200% attack and defense?
I mean, I do, but it's just.
But
kind
that
of
just seems too boring. Yeah, like literally too boring.
What about giving them Pokemon statuses like confusion? You could accidentally attack yourself for like 10%
That's how
of
you
the
kill
damage.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying, I think RNG in this game can be used in a good way.
Mm.
Like Physical Vegeta Blue is like one of the most fun units to use still to this day because of the way that he works. Like you never know how many attacks you're gonna get. You never know like if you're gonna get supered or not. You never know if you're gonna get crits on your counters. Like there's so many different RNG elements that go into how well he does that you never really know how good he's going to perform in a given turn. I think that's fine. I think that's good because it actually makes it a lot more replayable. Like using him, it makes that a lot more replayable. Because once you see like one super attack from Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, you're like, okay, I know how much damage he's going to be doing every single turn, and it's just no variety at all. So that's just what I think.
Yeah, the RNG definitely could play into making units more interesting, because we've talked about before. I think we had more of a detailed conversation about it when Hercule got his EZA, but I've said like one of the reasons why I don't like units like the STR Ultimate Gohan is because he has the passive that is based completely on RNG, and if it doesn't go off, then he essentially has no passive and gets destroyed. But they could introduce something along the lines of the RNG for your passive being between two separate like kits. So just as like a very basic example, you could have a certain chance that the unit's going to have a load of extra defense and then maybe a built-in chance to dodge, or they get a bunch of extra attack and like a built-in chance to crit. And then depending which one goes off for that turn, it then depends where you're going to put them in the rotation and what they're going to do for that turn.
Mm-hmm. I think
Alright.
one. So I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One thing. So I think one thing that could spice up for Dokkan is give us a UI Goku, and then give the enemy a Senzu Bean. There we go.
Give him the active skill where he gives them a sensu beam.
Yes.
Full health.
Don't talk any
Yeah.
further because of Toon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about. Please don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're talking about the Cell games, obviously.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys.
Stop. All right. With that, we are going to be wrapping up this week's show. So thank you for all of the submitted questions. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. A couple of days before the show, you guys can also post your questions and be a part of the action. But with that, we will wrap up this week's show. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Huge thank you to our buddy Hydros for manning the boards, keeping the stream afloat. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms: Twitch, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, everything. Stay connected with the 59G network. And if you missed any part of the show, don't worry. All of your favorite podcasting platforms will have you covered: Google, Apple, Spotify, and many more, and the YouTube channel. So don't skip a beat. Join us right here tomorrow for the next episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. For Talon, Masked Ningen, Goresh, Sunblade, and the Silent Swordsman Kensei, I am Toon Rami. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.
Global. JP. Two sides of the same coin. We've seen them interact before, but never like this. Something big is coming to Dokkan Battle. Presented by 59 Gaming. The International Tournament of Power. Team Global versus Team JP. 8 Dokkan YouTubers. 16 matches. 1 winner.
Marsningen here, captain of Team Global. We got the homie Goresh, we got Tiger, and we got Gale, and of course myself. And we are raring and ready to go.
Talon here, captain of the JP team, and definitely feeling good about our team right now. We've got the awesome Whale Nolar, we got Jinro, and we got Sunblade, and we are looking forward to taking the win for the JP side.
Both teams are ready. But are you? See all the action unfold right here at 59 Gaming.
I think Globals won't really put up much of a challenge. I mean, we're just gonna leave them in the dust, kind of like their release schedule. It's just, it's all over the place.
Bring home that victory for Team Global. Team Globest. You guys know Global is going to represent.
The International Tournament of Power. Coming soon.